Hello, everyone, and welcome to the best map in the game. Everyone loves this map, right?
I fucking hate this map.
I had a feeling.
I fucking hate this map. I made very minimal changes because I think this map is already pretty shit.
I
Made it
see.
worse. But
Very funny. There's more of them right
yeah,
here.
look, it was very it was funny in chapter 10, so I figured it would still be funny here. Also, there's stairs for some reason.
Yeah, there's stairs
I didn't
right
add
here,
those.
I guess.
They're just they exist.
I like how you didn't even like move the boss onto the gate to like make him more difficult or anything. He's still just standing right here for some reason.
Yeah, I thought that was key to the map's vision.
Yes, it's very important to the design of the map. I'm assuming does Sally have anything different? This actually looks like pretty vanilla.
Yeah, no, the biggest change to Sally is all his weapons suck ass.
Yeah, he's just stuck using devil weapons.
I wanted you to have someone who might reasonably get warp if you didn't trade Mamie.
I appreciate it. I guess I should. Oh, I don't have a heal staff to give you, do I? You can take.
La Rochelle's Mend.
Flower Cells 4 use 1. I don't think you're gonna do a lot of healing. Because you're gonna be busy.
He's closer to warp than her.
He is, but. See, she's actually closer to warp.
Oh, wait, wow.
And she's even
That's
closer to
actually
warp.
hilarious. That's actually, oh my god. Well, La Rochelle does need to promote for warp.
She does. He can just get it. Okay, so we need to like pick people up. So that means you're gonna go here, so you can like.
Dosla would have been very nice here.
Oh boy, wouldn't he have?
I also
oh.
think Dosla was a lost fucking cause.
Oh yeah, he would have been. Oh, you're very funny. You're hilarious. You're actually the funniest thing ever. Comical even.
So, you wanna know what's very funny? That isn't even a change I made with the loot army. That was something that's been that way since the beginning.
Oh,
Guiding rings just don't work.
they just don't work. Okay, makes sense. Fair. I see how it is.
Although there is one class that promotes using guiding ring.
And it's like Ewan or something.
No.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, and he's
It's
just
Demon King.
Oh, that's
It's
hilarious.
Demon King. It will never come up.
Yeah,
But I thought it would be funny to just make it that way internally.
I think that's very funny. Ooh, do I have holy water? I should use Vanessa in this map.
So yeah, you can use the guiding ring as a Demon King to promote into Super Pupil 3.
Woo! Super pupil, woo! She actually makes really good use with that. We're gonna do this.
I actually think it's so frustrating that Super Pupil doesn't get a crit bonus.
But they get all 3 magic types. Teehee. Which equates to you still use anima.
Well, would you use anima in this hack?
Fair. Fair. Okay, I do remember that the reinforcements are zone-based, and it's like right here-ish is the line, and if you go above it, you make a bunch of reinforcements show up.
Yeah, I made those mountains to help you. They're a visual
Yeah.
representation.
It's a lot easier to see where it is now. Let's do that. So, oh, I made a prediction off camera, I think, and my prediction is Ewan is gonna like run and scream towards the house, but he's not gonna go inside. And he's just gonna stand on the house and get killed turn 1. And he's gonna have like 3 pairs of boots, a warp, and a rescue in his inventory.
That would be funny,
Oh, he's actually inside the
but I
house.
didn't do it.
I would have done that. He just stands there on top of the house like, oh boy, they can't get me in here now.
Look, he's just taking advantage of terrain bonuses.
Alright, we can't cross this turn 1. Oh, that's right. I'm actually gonna need you to like carry people. I was gonna have her like go. I guess I can have her fight these guys turn 1.
Just hatchet them down.
That's the plan, anyways. Actually, how does she deal with the hatchet? Oh, that's actually like surprisingly better than I thought it was gonna be. My expectation was pretty low.
Be careful of the death goyles. They can't reach her, can they? No, they can't. Okay.
Nah,
Too
here we
far
go.
away. I was just like, I was a little concerned.
Understandable. You should come closer to us so I can pelt you with
So
light magic.
we're probably gonna be here a while because this
We are
map is
going to
not
be
hard, but
here
it's
a little
tedious in
bit.
vanilla, and it's gonna be even more tedious now. So this is just a podcast episode. I will ask you the same question I asked Eat Your Greens on the last podcast episode we did. Sub to Eat Your Greens if you haven't already. Who do you think are the most over and underrated units in the franchise? And not like, you know, it doesn't necessarily even have to be like, oh my god, you're sleeping on like the best unit ever. Just like someone who you think is like underrated or overrated. I have my two answers, but I want to hear yours first before I influence you.
Now that's the question. That's the $1 million icebreaker question. Okay, I gotta think about this for a sec.
And like, bear in mind that overrated doesn't mean bad, and underrated doesn't mean good.
Yeah,
like I
just
think there's plenty of units who are like quite good, but people exaggerate just how good they are.
Or people who units that are bad, but they're not as bad as like people make them out to be. Wait, you guys
And there
have
are
more-
some overrated units who are like mid, but people say are good, or bad, but people say are mid, like that
Yeah.
sort of stuff as well. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
this unit's actually peak, or this unit's actually the worst unit in the game.
And the big one also is like, because this came up when we were talking about it on the FE7 playthrough, is like, I would also consider it not to be overrated if someone is just like factoring criteria differently from you. Like, I know a lot of people are higher on Pent than me because they don't account for availability. I constantly hear the argument of like, availability doesn't actually matter, so Pent is like the best unit in the game. And I don't think that counts as overrating him. That's someone approaching from a different criteria. Now, I would disagree that Pent is the best unit in the game if availability doesn't matter, because Athos is just better than.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of why I do factor in availability, is because like, otherwise you often just end up like listing units in reverse recruitment order in many instances.
So you're saying there's a chance Lucia is high on the tier list?
No. Do you think she's the most underrated unit in the franchise?
No. Okay, you actually gave me an idea. I actually think, like, this is the most boring answer ever, but yeah, Penta's definitely one of them that's super overrated. He's so cool in, like, a vacuum when you play the game, but I think, like, he's taken way too seriously. Or, like, people love him way more than he actually is, like, good or whatever.
I think he's a little overrated, but I don't think it's, like... I think some of it is just people approaching from different criteria.
Yeah, so Penn's up there is one. Who's a unit that I think is, like... What are some other units that I think are, like, really overrated? Let's see. I got time to think of one.
I mean, we got nothing but time here. Nothing but time and death, Goyles.
Okay, anyone in FE1 I can think of. I don't play FE1 actually, so I have no idea.
Ooh, wait, can I chime in with a controversial take about FE1?
Yeah.
Marth is overrated.
Yeah. Because when
I think that
because I know the common consensus
I don't
for
think
FE1
Marth is
is
the best
like,
unit in the game. I think
yeah.
he's like 5 definitely, but I don't think he's number 1.
because I know the general consensus for FE1 is like, oh, you just make Marth move forward and you win the game. And then I played FE1 and I was like, no, wait, that doesn't work.
Well, so like the big thing that people talked about is his universal provoke, which is really good. The problem is that his universal provoke is inconsistent because the AI is not programmed very well. And that's the biggest thing he has going for him. Because like the other argument is potentially the Sigurd argument, where it's like, well, you train him because he seizes, right? Or the Self argument, I mean, because you train him because he seizes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that works for a game like FE1. Like, I think FE4 has a lot of very distinct characteristics that make the training someone to seize them matter, because you train Selef and he gets extra movement, and then he can seize castles to delete enemies that are still on the map. because of his extra movement. But like Marth doesn't get extra movement when you train him. He just becomes like slightly better at doing the provoke thing.
You just move him forwards, and it's just.
I also think rapier access is like good.
It's cool. I don't remember what the rapier stats are. I just remember buying like 6 of them, and then like just pressing enter or whatever.
I think it's one of the best weapons in the game. I actually have the FE1 weapon stats as an entire channel in my Discord. So let me pull that up real quick. So the rapier has 5 might, 1 weight, 100 accuracy, and it's effective against cavaliers, knights, and paladins. And the weapon triangle doesn't exist, so it's 15. It's a 15 might weapon against
the most common,
the most frequent enemies in the game. And with that combined with Wormslayer access, which is 6 might, 80 hit, 2 weight. So it's it's an 18 might weapon against the only other threatening enemy type. Like, Rapier plus Wormslayer means that Marth has a weapon for every situation. And so I do think it's good. And 1-2 range is not, like, lacking 1-2 range does definitely suck. But like, if we take a look at Javelin, right? Javelin 7 might, 70 hit.
It's also heavy, so
and
you're just
6 weight. And the way the weight works in FE1 is like it just subtracts from your speed no matter what. There's no con.
There's no like build or anything like that.
So like, it's nice to have 1-2 range as an option, and I guess Marth technically does with the Levin Sword. It functions like the FE1 magic stuff.
Oh yeah, so it's just like flat 7 damage, or however much Thunder does.
Yeah. Well, it's also not 100% accurate and never will be.
That's true.
But yeah, my hot take is just that, like, I do think Marth is a top 5 because Provoke is very good, Rapier is very good, and Rapier plus Wormslayer is coverage for basically every enemy you care about. And then, like, he is the best killer of the final boss, and, like, that is worth acknowledging, is that, like, you're not killing the final boss without him in FE1, because Tiki doesn't deal effective damage in FE1.
Speaking of FE1 effective damage, it wasn't until like my first playthrough of FE1 that I learned. I was doing the penultimate map in the game, and I was like, okay, we'll just do the level 0 strat, warp Marth, kill boss, move on with my life or whatever. And the Falcon's not effective against Manicheets.
Nope, just the final boss.
Just Medius. Because I warped him in and I was like, wow, he's only doing like single-digit damage to this Manicheet boss. Like, these guys are no joke in the late game. And then I flew like Sheeta with a Wormslayer, and it one-rounded the boss. And I was like, what? What?
Well, and that's why you keep a Wormslayer on Marth.
So I didn't know
I will say this: if Marth had the convoy like more modern lords do, I think he would be the best unit in the game.
Oh, because then you can just pull anything out and use it.
Yeah. But because he doesn't, like, his traits are very good, but like, I think that there are better units than him. Like, I mean, Minerva's the big one, right?
Yeah, Minerva's amazing.
But I also think, like, Ogma is quite good. So it's weird because, like, in my 0% growth run, I did specifically use Nabarl instead of Ogma to prove that they're not actually all that different at all whatsoever because of the way promotion works. But Ogma's the best of the 4 mercenaries you get. But all 4 of them are just the same unit, and because they're the first one to promote, like, they're actually quite good. And they get Wormslayers too, which is quite nice. Like, they don't get Rapiers, but they do get Wormslayers.
Yeah, Wormslayer's still appreciated.
I mean, Jagan is very good, obviously. Falls off, but is very good. Also, your early Cavaliers are, like, I think the Christmas Cavaliers are quite good as well. Ironically, I think they're, like, better than Harden, in FE1, specifically. I mean, I also think they're better in 11, but not, like, for different reasons, just because, like, how fucked up the early game is.
Yeah. Because early game FE11 is something, all right.
But yeah, I think best unit of the game is probably Minerva. Yeah, Minerva's the Wyvern, right? Yeah. I get Minerva and Milady mixed up for some reason because their names are so similar.
And they're both
like they're fulfilling
wyverns.
the same role. Yeah. So that's where my hesitation comes in. I'm not hesitating to say that I think she's the best unit. I do think she's the best unit. The biggest thing against her is availability. She shows up about a third of the way through the game.
Yeah.
But like, I do tend to value availability pretty highly, but I think there's exceptions in extremes. You know, like a game like Engage in FE7, the top of the tier list is made up by people who join in the second half of the game, right?
Oh, also, swords are really good in FE1, and Draco Knights use swords in FE1.
Yes.
They use swords and lances instead of, like, axes and lances.
Yes.
So that's kind of that's kind of a big thing in her favor.
And you can't promote any of your flyers until the Tiki map.
Yes. So she kind of has, like,
I
a
also
monopoly
think...
on being... Yeah, I like this. There we go. Oh, she's almost at B rank.
So good. Cringe.
I forgot.
Cringe. It happens to the best of us. Look, this is me fighting my war against efficiency by making it so that horse units don't actually have a good move.
It's not actually what I wanted to do. We can still recover. We can recover. Give. I have
You can't recover. Nobody has the staff rank for it.
Oh, that's right. I have used the give command more times in this run than I have in my entire time playing this whole series.
This is the gift that keeps on giving.
Like, I can't think of any other times that I've ever, like, used the give command.
I know...
Who are some other units?
I know that you can do, like, some advanced rescue strat stuff with give.
Yeah,
but, like, oftentimes it's only for turn saves more than actually, like, meeting specific deadlines.
I wish you could take and give in the same turn. Because you can't do that in GBA. You can't take give in the same turn.
So, I don't know if this is a feature of vanilla GBA, but I know in many ROM hacks, take support give is a thing where it tricks the game. If you activate a support on the turn you take, you can then give afterwards.
Oh, that's funny.
That being said, the only ROM hacks I've seen it happen in are ones where there are not support conversations. So it could be a glitch related to the lack of support conversations. It is definitely a glitch, but I don't know whether it's a glitch in vanilla or if it is a glitch in ROM hacks. And like the reason that I see it in ROM hacks and not in vanilla is that you build supports like so slow in vanilla.
You never see supports in vanilla unless you're specifically grinding for them.
And the only time I've seen take support give used is for LTC strategies. It makes for some very cool like support routing so that I can do a take support give at a later point.
Drop. Oh, you can't pick up. That's so tragic.
But like obviously an LTC is not going to be able to do that using GBA supports.
Mm-hmm.
Dun 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 dun. Donna.
That's a lot more damage
Dun,
than I
dun,
thought it was
dun,
going to be.
It's okay, she's a gamer. Speed and luck.
Oh.
That's all avoid, right?
Yes. We do love to see a void here.
Dodge Tank Gaming.
Unit that's overrated. Although I don't think they're as overrated anymore, but Echo's Alm is really overrated by a lot of people because he's not as fantastic as... Because a lot of people just see like Double Lion. And I love Double Lion. Let me throw this out here. I love Double Lion. I think it's funny. I love bonking something twice unnecessarily hard. but I think a lot of people just see double line and go, see, look, it kills stuff, forgetting that, like, you have to fight armors, you have to fight... You could double line this one paladin, or you could have, like, Matilda with the Rider's Bane, enemy phase, like, 3 of them.
Well, for fighting armors, just double line with the Armor Slayer. It's that easy.
If only. So if you both did 18, that's... Wow, she actually lives 2 of these guys. That's incredible.
I do not know enough about Echo's meta, so I'm just gonna take your word for it. Everything I've heard about Echo's meta, like, constantly contradicts itself. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's an ever-evolving machine.
Even I don't fully understand it
And-
sometimes. Which is why I just do my
And
own
I'll be
thing.
honest, I don't really have a desire to understand it.
That is fair.
Partially because I don't like that game, and partially because, like, it's the sort of game that
Okay.
feels like it really wants you to do, like, much more casual grindy strats.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, like, it's not that it's invalid to do the meta stuff, but it really feels like you're pushing back against the game
And what it wants you to do.
when you do meta. Which can be fun in its own way. Like, I like playing games wrong, quote unquote.
Uh-huh.
But I also just don't like SOV.
Understandable.
It has a lot of things that I take issue with it.
I'm trying to think of other units that I think are, like, over or underrated. Bow rank! Wait, that's right, I can't see it.
That's so funny. You'll never know. You'll never know.
I have no
until
idea
you're
what
able
her
to
bow
test
rank
things.
is.
Steve, you can use the silver.
Oh, that's
you
a
can,
good
you
test.
can figure it
We
out
can
based
see
on
if she has
that,
it.
the context clues.
Wow, Joshua, you are not doing so hot right now. It's a good thing we're training Marissa, so we can have a good unit.
I wonder if she gets S-rank bows, will it lock her out of the other S-ranks, or will it not realize it because they're on a separate screen?
That's what I'm wondering. I guess she's kind of like the only person who can use Latona, because no one else can... Well, I guess you technically could. But
Jacob,
like...
the warp staff is S-rank.
Oh, right! That's why we're working for S-Staves. I forgot about that.
That's what the concern is. Like, if she just hit S bows, then we're fucked. Well, I'm not. You are,
Right.
though.
That's what we're doing this for. Oh! You reminded me, because, like, I was thinking about her promo paths. Not really unit specific, but I think summoners are super overrated in Sacred Stones. They're cool.
So I guess that would be Noel specifically, since, like, yes, Ewan can go summoner, but, like, Noel's the one who does go summoner.
Basically, null specifically. I think, like, summoner strats are just super overrated in FE8. There's the only map where I think summoner is really helpful is Gorgon eggs, just so you can bait shadow shots.
I agree with you, however, I would say Gorgon eggs so you can break Gorgon eggs. Because it functionally gives you a 4th flyer, or 5th flyer.
I kind of like it for that, but I think I'm also just really picky about EXP distribution, because Gorgon eggs always give you 50 EXP, and I'm like, I don't want that to go to waste, I want to give that to my unit.
It's the end of the game!
But I still have unpromoted units in that map. Because I'm still picking up new recruits by that point in the game.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. I'm glad to have heard so many people say that, because I also feel that summoners are like... So it's weird, because like, if you say summoners are overrated, it sounds like you're saying summoners are bad, and I actually think summoners are incredibly strong, specifically outside of the context of Sacred Stones.
Because Sacred Stones just doesn't demand the need for these like single-use decoys.
Well, it's not just that it doesn't demand the use for it, because there's like, you have a lot of tools that Sacred Stones doesn't demand the use for, right? Like Garrick, I know that there's some like people who are low on Garrick because you can just have Seth do all the combat.
Yeah.
And I would say that I don't agree with that assessment. I specifically think that the summons actively hinder your ability to kill enemies, because most of the units you're using will survive getting attacked by an enemy and kill the enemy in retaliation.
Exactly.
But the summon will not kill. Like, they'll die, and that doesn't matter. But the big thing that matters is they won't kill on retaliation.
The way I see it
and so you still have to deal with that enemy.
An enemy who attacked my summon and died is an enemy that didn't attack my promoted Garcia, my promoted Ross, my promoted France, my promoted Kyle.
Because, like, in many ways, like, Ford is unnecessary because either Franz or Kyle will always be just strictly better than him. But I don't think Ford is bad. But I do think summons are actively bad in most situations in FE8. Yeah, obviously the exception would be like there's some specific challenge runs where they can be useful. Like,
and again, I'm
sure their utility went. Oh my God, Amelia, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I was trying to trade a little bit of sword rank, but okay, this is what we get.
No, don't do the boat.
Wait, I need to see what her bow rank is. Okay, she doesn't have 8 bows yet, so she must have at least B.
She's safe. She probably is B, I think.
But she also has B light, which means I can buy the dummy.
I'm really scared of her hitting S rank.
I know. I've noticed. But we gotta get her up to level 10. So she can
There are maps
promote.
designed around you warping. I don't want to have to edit this.
There we go. Look at Vanessa still being useful.
But yeah, I think like when I eventually do 0% growths, Sacred Stone Summoner utility will probably go up pretty significantly because I no longer will have like everyone's a growth unit in this game. I won't have units who can do combat. I'll have like Dusel and Garrick and Dozla as my main combat units.
Those are like your carries. Those are some of your only pre-promotes you get. Everyone else like starts at such low level.